Ladies and gentlemen, another day here in Las Vegas for the Raiders OTA practices. We are just a few days away from the start of mandatory minicamp, but today was another great day filled with news and notes and highlights and observations from today. And in this video, what we're going to do is break down everything you need to know from all of that, right? Ashton Jeanty, to Gino Smith, to Brock Bowers, we got you guys covered. Make sure you lock in, join the family, hit the like button, but most importantly, I want to give credit where credit is due, and that is with all of the Raiders media members. Go follow them on X, because I promise you, you will not regret it. They work so hard each and every single day to get these highlights out for us and allow us to make these videos. Without them, it's not possible to make these videos. So go give them a follow if you haven't already done so. And with that being said, let's break down today's practice and look at who stood out, who looked good, and everything in between. So let me know who you guys are most excited about this season. And here we go. All right, here we go. So right away, we got some Gino Smith action here. Rollouts, bootlegs, trying to get outside the pocket, and we got a nice little dot right to, I guess a lot of people calling him Deuce now, but Chip Kelly likes to call him Dollar or something because he's the one. I don't know if that's true, but that is what I've heard. But Gino Smith definitely building a ton of chemistry over the last few weeks with these running backs, with these wide receivers. And I heard today a big piece of news. Outside of Jacoby Myers, there's a couple of guys that they think could really play massive roles within this offense in year one. Jack Bech and Dont'e Thornton. Now, again, that is the news that we are hearing coming out of camp. We don't know how true that is. Obviously, you're going to get some other guys like Trey Tucker heavily involved early as well. But right now, who do you think is going to be the starting 3 wide receivers for this team? Now, one of the more intriguing position groups of this football team is the linebacker room. Now, only because of the amount of raw potential that they have, but also there is a lot of older guys in the room. For example, Devin White, a former Pro Bowler linebacker. Jalen Smith was really good in his heyday. And obviously, you sign a Landon Roberts to kind of take the place of Robert Spillane. Very similar type of players. You obviously have Amari Gaynor and Tommy Eichenberg and Cody Lindeberg as well. So you have a lot of veterans as well as a lot of young guys as well in this room. Now, if I were to guess, I would assume that you'd see Devin White, who's wearing number 45 right here, as your starting linebacker for Patrick Graham. But also on the other side, you're probably going to see 52 of Landon Roberts right here. This is probably your day one starting linebackers for this football team. Both guys do a really good job at getting to the quarterback, but also they can drop back into coverage and stop the run as well. So I do think they have 2 guys that are really dynamic, and Jalen Smith is actually pretty damn good as well. He's wearing number 54. The third rep is by 44, which I believe is Tommy Eichenberg. So you can kind of see the rotation already start to set for these linebackers. Another big piece of news coming at today's practice was Thayer Munford was back out here. Right now, obviously at the right tackle position, you have a competition between DJ Glaze, Thayer, and then obviously maybe you can slide Charles Grant over there. I doubt that happens. He's really trying to learn and develop at a left tackle position, especially with Colton Miller contract situation. Don't know where that's going to turn out from here, but they're really happy that Thayer's back out. You look at Pete in the background, always full of energy, got his gloves on, he's ready to go to war out here, trying to pump up the guys. I love Pete Carroll, and the energy that he brings to these practices is insane. But Thayer back out here at practice, definitely a good sign after missing the first couple of weeks of OTAs. Definitely a good sign, moving in the right direction. Now, for the defensive line, Christian Wilkins and Adam Butler were not out there. However, one guy that was back at today's practice was Jeremy Chin. Now, we all know that Christian Wilkins going through an injury, very tough. It's a tough injury to get back from. Pete Carroll also stated that it's not going to be an easy way back. It's going to take him some time. We don't really have a timetable, but hopefully Christian Wilkins can be back at some point in time. Until then, guys are going to have to step up, right? Leki Fotu, Jonah Lau, JJ, you got Tonka Hemingway, Zach Carter, Tank Booker. A lot of these guys are going to really have to carry some weight, and if they can't you might be looking at some free agency to go pick up another interior defensive lineman while those guys get healthy. But as of right now, they do expect at least one of them or maybe both of them to be back by training camp. We're still about a month and a half out from training camp, so still got a while. Now, before we get any further into this video, do me a big favor, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't already done so, but most importantly, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. If you are new, it is free. It doesn't cost anything to join the family, and we will be covering this Raiders team throughout the entirety of this year's offseason. Now, you may be asking yourself, what does that include, right? Not only are we going to cover the rest of OTAs, which is the rest of this week, but then they're going to get into what we like to call mandatory minicamp. Once minicamp ends, they take about a month off, and then they're going to get in for training camp. We're going to cover everything you need to hear about in those. But from there, preseason is basically starting. Football is basically here once training camp, arrives. But not only are we going to cover preseason and regular season, we're going to be breaking down all 22 coaches' film for both the preseason and the regular season as well. Make sure you guys are joining the family if you haven't already done so. And with that being said, let's kind of dive back into the video and talk a little bit more about some standouts from today. One guy that they love is Tyree Wilson. They believe that he can move all over the defensive line. So I just talked a moment ago about not having Adam Butler, not having Christian Wilkins at this point in time. They think Tyree Wilson can actually expand his game and move to the interior of this defensive line during portions of games, right? During certain matchups, they think he can be an interior guy. He's got the height, he's got the strength, and he's getting better and bigger strength-wise every year. We can also talk a little bit about the DB room, and two guys who have really been standing out so far is newcomer Eric Stokes alongside Darien Porter. So you have two brand new potential starting cornerbacks on the outside boundary going into the season, Eric Stokes and Porter. Very interesting. And then you got guys competing like Jacorian Bennett, Darnay Holmes, DeCamerion Richardson, Sam Webb, as well as some other guys as well. But the people or the players that are really breaking out and standing out so far, Darien Porter and Eric Stokes. Very excited about those two guys. Individually, we'll see how they continue to develop going forward, but Darien Porter is wearing 26, as you see here. Got to catch that football. As a former wide receiver, man, you gotta catch that football. That is so catchable. Okay, we got to bring these in. We got to take advantage of mistakes, and that's a ball you cannot be dropping right there. Now, overall, that was all the highlights we were able to get from today's practice. However, tomorrow we should have a lot more, and we're going to have another updated video for you tomorrow. So make sure you guys comment down below part 2 and let me know in the comments down below. Comment, who are you most excited to see at this rookie class? We're hearing a lot of Dont'e Thornton Jr. is making a lot of noise during OTAs, and that 6'5", 4.3 speed is something they absolutely love. And he might be able to really come in here and make a difference right away. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Hit the like button, subscribe, join the family, turn on post notifications, and I should be seeing you in tomorrow's updated video. Peace.